let me tell you
There's
what
a
I've been
bunch
trying
of
to
people who don't know who shot her, man.
My
And
son,
they just say,
listen to
yo,
me.
I don't know who shot
My
her.
son.
They just say, yo, she could be lying because Tory said this, and the other one said that, and the other one said that, but I don't know who shot her.
My
That's not how
son.
you can have an opinion, Baz. That's not
My
how you have an
son.
opinion.
My son, listen to me. And I don't want you to interrupt me. I want you to listen to me. As my brother, listen. The reason why this dialogue was important for me, not because we can figure out who was right and who was wrong, and who's telling the truth and who's not. That's not why I wanted to have this dialogue. I wanted to have this dialogue, dog, because as a culture and as a people, we are fucking divided over something that we do not fucking know to be true or false. You have your opinion and your perspective. I have my opinion and my perspective. I have my reasons for looking at it the way I do. But the only thing in this entire situation, dog, the only thing in this entire situation that's a fact is we don't know what the fuck happened. That's what the fact is here. We could do this for another 6 months. We could do this forever. All we have is how you saw it, how my man Daoud saw it, how Mike Lowry saw it, how Shabazz saw it. That's all we got. So that's been my perspective from the very beginning. The only time I feel comfortable giving total disclosure on my position on something is when I got more tangibles to put my hands on and wrap my mind around. It's too much shit with this particular situation. It's too much shit with this particular situation, and it's too much dialogue. It's too much shit that don't make sense for me personally to stand up and say, Tory telling the truth, Megan lying. Megan lying, Tory. I can't do that on either side. Because for how I assess things, I'm not in a position to do it fairly and impartially and unbiased. That's why when I say I don't know, it's not because I'm just neutral. It's too much shit to be able to speak definitively. So, unfortunately, I tried to put this in a perspective in the beginning where you and I, two black men that already fuck with each other and respect each other. But if you look at the comments, man, Shabazz, fuck that nigga. Mike, that nigga Shabazz is this. The point that I've been trying to make is what's going on in our comments. We don't even know how to agree to disagree. My son don't gotta be a bitch ass nigga because he believes Megan. Shabazz don't gotta be in love with Tory and supporting Tory because he got his own perspective. Our people are so fucked up that I wanted to have this dialogue, bro, so people can understand. Just because you believe something don't fucking make it true. I don't care how well the story is told. But people so hung up on being right and want somebody else to be wrong. Hold on, Mike. I just want to say this, bro. I want to say this. We have to understand something, bro. We can look at a situation however we want to look at it. We can look at however we want to look at it. But when I make comments and when I make comparisons to refute something that was put in front of me, that doesn't equate to support on the other side. Especially when I'm very careful about my dialogue. When I think people are misconstruing, I verbally say, this is not in support of Tory. This is not to say Tory is right. I say that shit 100,000 times. But because the dialogue is so much about Megan, people equate that to me supporting Tory. If Tory shot that motherfucking girl, send his ass wherever the fuck he getting sent to for whatever he need to do for doing it. Send him. That's my perspective. If it comes out that that's what the fuck he did. Okay? But until then, the way this shit has been going, I'm back and I'm watching this shit play out and unfold because it's a lot of shit with it, dog. It's a lot of shit with it, and it's just too cloudy for me to stand on any side with conviction. That's just me.
So can I say something?
Of course.
Okay, so I want you not to interrupt me because I gave you a good 5 minutes to get your piece. I want to break
Take 10.
Thank you.
Take 10.
So what I want to say is, you know, I love you and I respect you, man. You always have very intricate, and you always think things through. You always have a perspective that even if I don't agree with, I somewhat, you know, understand where it comes from. You always well spoken. You think about what you're saying. So I want you to understand how someone who does that, some people might perceive what you're saying as taking up for Tory. Because when you don't have a position or you're not with anybody, right, you don't give a counter argument to whatever they believe their reality is. So when you give a counter argument to a woman was shot, we know she was shot. She identified
I know you asked me not to interrupt you. Hold on, listen, before you. No. My son, I just want to say this to you because I want you to add this to your dialogue because I want to be clear.
Okay.
When you say I give that perception of how people take it, what you have to add is this. I already know that. You can't leave out that I follow up with, this is not me taking up for Tory. So if people don't listen to that, then that means you're calling me a liar because I make it known that that's not what I'm doing.
But I hear, but it's like anything, right? It's like this, Baz. So when you give this argument, you say, yo, he ain't get locked up. I know for me, you know, if a nigga shoots you, you going to get locked up. It don't make sense to me. But I ain't here. I'm not on nobody's side. So if I got shot, man, I just want you to get this. If I got shot and I hear you say that, I'm going to make the assumption that you're saying that I'm lying. That's just automatically. Even if you follow it up with, let me just finish. Let me talk. Even if you follow it up with, but I'm not on nobody's side, right? The fact that you give a counter argument to what I believe is my complete reality about somebody shooting me, I don't believe I have any reason to lie. I don't believe I've done anything to merit you not to take what I'm saying on face value and discredit or try to say I could be lying. I don't believe that I've done anything to merit that. And you come and give a counter narrative to what is my reality. At that point, I believe that you don't believe what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have a position, right, or you don't know who's telling the truth, the people who don't know who's telling the truth, when you ask them, they be like, I don't know. We just got to see what happened. But when you give a counter argument, when you give numerous counter arguments, when you say Tory said he didn't shoot her, when you said the best friend said this, when you said the police said those wasn't bullet wounds, when you get everything that support Tory Lanez' story and nothing that support Megan's, it can be perceived as you are supported. So you have not gave me one argument in support of Megan. Not one of the arguments that you gave me here said, yo, you know what, Megan could be telling the truth because this happened. You didn't say that one time. You gave me every argument possible for why it couldn't happen. So it's no way that anybody can listen to this conversation and say that you don't know, you don't have any side in this. It's almost impossible for anybody to hear this conversation and believe that you actually are neutral in this situation. It's impossible. You have not gave any, see when you're neutral, then you give perspectives on both sides. You can say, yo, you know what? I see why Megan could be telling the truth because such and such and such and such happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. But then we get because Tory said this, this, and that. Then I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know what's going on.
You know why I did that?
That right there, Baz, that is somebody who don't believe anybody, and it's just lost to say, I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to tell you why. You know why it sounds like that?
What?
Because we never heard nothing about Tory. All we hear is Megan. When people send me shit, is always Megan this, Megan. So when people bringing it to, when I'm getting this information and when I'm seeing it, and all I'm hearing is Megan. Haven't heard Tory's side. Never heard Tory say shit until his record came out. So the only thing that I have to analyze is the shit that's being said about Megan. So if all I'm hearing is Megan this, Megan that, Megan, I'm only giving a perspective from that side. That's why I follow up and say, we don't know.
But how? But no,
hold on, Mike.
No, what you saying? That's not.
Let me finish explaining.
What you saying? You can't. That's not really true though, Baz, because
Megan,
she gave you her whole story.
My son.
All you heard was Tory said, "I didn't do it." He didn't do it.
My son. I had that position. I had that position before the song came out. My very first video and the only video that I put up, I said Tory Lanez hasn't said shit and he don't need to say shit just yet. It's too much talking going on about an open case. So he would have served himself due diligence not to say nothing. Now, if the only thing I got to critique, is what I've been hearing about Megan.
How? How is that?
I'm going to tell you. If I'm hearing all the stories that I'm hearing in the street and on the internet, the shit that I'm hearing is not making sense, because one day I hear this story, the next day I hear that story. So then when I'm looking at the friends say this, then Megan say that, then me being a felon and dealing with guns, and as soon as I heard Tory had a $30,000 bail, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. This girl got shot. He locked up for shooting her, and all he got was a $30,000 bail. I'm like, oh, this shit is from the beginning. I'm like, something ain't right. You know just as well as I do, as a street nigga, we can use some type of discernment when we see what a nigga bail is. Now, when we keep saying who shot her, if we just gonna say fuck it, Tory shot her, then send him to jail. No. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about people in general. I'm just saying, like, everybody here.
She said he shot her. We didn't say it. Prior to her saying it, we didn't say that.
She's saying that he shot her, and people agree. She said he shot her, so he shot her. So if that's all it takes, what's up, J Manzini? If that's all it takes,
J Manzini, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
If that's all it takes, is that she said it, then dog, we are in trouble across the board. If all it takes to close this case is that Megan said it, and people say, well, why would she lie? If people say, well, who shot her then? If that's all it takes, my son, we in trouble, dog.
That's not really dangerous. True, man. That's not really dangerous for me. Because let me explain something to you.
Okay.
If that was all it takes for somebody to do 100 years in jail, then I would understand your position. But if all it takes for me is discernment and looking at a woman who was shot, and I'm like, damn, why would she say you shot her if you didn't shoot her? What is the reason for her to just make up
what I'm saying is, if you're saying the justice system, you saying the justice system don't apply to public.
It don't.
So listen, but my son, what happens? What happens if that's the way it goes? What happens if the way it's being handled, and right now, from a public perspective, the way it's being handled, what happens if that's how the criminal justice system handles it? What happens if that's all it takes is for somebody to say something? But my only position, dog, my only position this entire time, no matter what anybody try to turn this around to be, my only position has been then, now, and will continue to be, we do not know what happened.
But if that was your position, Baz, I'm just saying the way that you deliver that message would not be to give every counter argument to the person who was shot and giving you their position and their story about what happened to them. Because it will never, listen, Baz, it will never come across to a person who was harmed and giving you their story. Women are beat, raped every day. They beat up, and they don't go forward and tell anybody their story because this happens. Because people crucify them in public opinion. People say it don't add up. I don't know what you was over there for. I don't even know why you said something to that nigga. I seen you walk down the block. I know you lying. That bitch is this. That bitch is that. Women are killed every day. They silence about their own pain every day because they get killed in a public opinion like this all the time. If a rich woman, who's the biggest artist in hip-hop right now, can come forward and say that a nigga shot her, no reason allowing him, she not gonna get no bag from him, she not trying to sue him, she not, none of this shit, she actually was in a relationship, and she come forward with her truth and say, your nigga shot me. And she gotta go through this shit. Imagine a girl that's right on the block, that's getting raped by a nigga and he got more money than her. Or getting beat up by a nigga and he got more fame than her, niggas believe her. Imagine what she dealing with inside. She ain't gonna never say nothing bad. You see what they doing to Megan? You think I'm gonna talk and tell a nigga what's going on with me? Everything she's saying, they shooting, they giving Tory Lanez the benefit of the doubt against a woman that had absolutely no reason in the world to lie on them. But we figured out reasons that she would create a story against this man. Just think about this shit, man.
Bro, I done thought about this shit.
We came up with every possible counter argument for why she would be lying. I haven't heard you give me one argument on why she would be telling the truth, man. Not one time, Baz. Not once, beloved. And I know you're a good man. And I know you.
And I'm gonna tell you, because bro,
so
you know what?
You got to understand that you got to take, I think we got to do because I had to do self-reflection on shit like this. I'll be around women all day. I'm around some of the most powerful black women in the world. So when they was having this conversation with me, and they like, y'all don't understand what black women go, and I'd be like, y'all be bugging this and that. I was at the Kavanaugh hearings. When the lady accused him, I was up there I went to jail there. So this shit ain't no capping shit for me. This is no shit that I'm just doing because this is how I live my life. This is how I live my life, protect black women. So when I'm having this conversation with you, it's coming from being around black women every day and hearing this shit and then actually seeing this shit in real time play out with one of the biggest stars in the world who was shot. And niggas is sitting there saying she's lying. For what, man? Why is it our Nate? Why did we come to the conclusion that this black woman just decided to lie on this man for no reason? Why is it how did that shit even get implanted in our mind that there's a possibility that the woman who was shot was sitting and point at a nigga that she's fucking with and say he shot her and he didn't shoot her? Just think about that shit, man. Just think about how black women feel unprotected when they even hear this dialogue. My DMs is full of black women with tears in their eyes. Like, I even can't, but I'm reading these comments on their page, and I can't believe that we really having this conversation. They don't even believe that this is a dialogue, man.
So,
they can't believe it.
Hey, Mike, this is the thing about me, bro. I don't care who on here call me a clown. I don't care who say I'm a woman beater. I don't care who say fuck Shabazz. At the end of the day, dog, I got a mother. I got sisters, I got nieces, I got granddaughters, and I got countless women that I love in my life, that I protect and gonna go to war for. And I'm okay with who don't like me or agree with me. But at the end of the day, dog, when I stand for something, I stand for it, right? When you say, Shabazz, you haven't heard me give one reason how or why Tory could have did it, or why Tory could have did it. The reason why is because all of the dialogue that I have been having is when people say something the dialogue that I've been having is me expressing what I'm being talked to about and how it doesn't make sense to me. Nobody talks to me about Tory. Everybody talks to me about Megan. And when someone says something to me about it, and if it doesn't make sense to me, that's what I'm going to discuss. That's what I'm going to discuss.
Well,
People
Baz,
don't have to
understand. Hold
on, and I'm gonna get to because I'm gonna get to the part where you said about reflecting. Hold on. I'm gonna get to the part where you said about reflecting. Now, if the way I deliver my discernment If you say, Shabazz, you don't give no reasons why Tory could have done it. All you say is blah, 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 blah about Megan. I respect that, and I understand that. From my perspective, I felt like I was doing my due diligence. My due diligence by following up with reiteration that just because I'm saying what I'm saying doesn't mean that I agree with Tory. I follow up with that. If that's not enough to overshadow or group or join with the fact that I'm giving other dialogue, then I would have to eat that. But that's me offering additional discernment by saying, this is the topic that was brought to me right here, this red cup. So this is what I'm discussing. But because this cell phone case is also a part of the dialogue, I'm not defending the cell phone case. I'm just speaking about this because this is what was brought to me. But it doesn't excuse this. So when I say that, I'm thinking that that's enough for people to gather an understanding that he has balance. He's talking about this because this is the subject. But because this is also a part of the subject, he's saying this is not excused. He's not leaving this out. He's not giving this a pass. He's just giving his opinion on this because this is what he's talking about. So,
but it's one situation.
Time, anybody that knows me, that done had this conversation with me, I've always offered balance. So people who feel like that's not enough, people want to hear you say what they want you to say the way they want to hear it. Not you particularly, but I hear people, I see comments. People want you to see things from their perspective. And if you don't, that makes you wrong in their eyes. I'm okay with that because I know that's not factual. That's not true. He has not been given a pass for shooting her. I can't give him a pass on shooting her because I never said he shot her. And I never said he didn't shoot her. What I'm saying is the information that continues to be provided continues to be conflicted from the police to everything else. It's conflicted dialogue. And a lot of shit that I see, it just doesn't sit right with me. And I'm entitled to that. But I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that nobody else is wrong. The people calling me a fake nigga, a clown, I'm cool with none of that. It still doesn't change the fact that none of us know what the fuck happened. And I don't care about all that other shit. So it's not so when I say neutrality, just to be clear, when I'm saying when you say you're neutral about something, in my definition of neutrality, I'm not saying either one is guilty. I'm not saying either one is truthful. I'm not saying either one is lying. That's where I'm neutral at. But when I give my dialogue, about what's been presented to me, I'm going to give that dialogue from a sense of discernment, unbiasedness, and intelligence. And whoever don't understand that, whoever can't digest that or understand that, I can't help them.
But I hear what you're saying, Vaz. But it can't be unbiased if you only like you just saying if you getting the information, right? You got all the information. What you got? You got her telling her story, right? She broke down her story. She said this. You got the records. The man is arrested for it. He had the gun. They had an argument. You got all of these things that say, okay, there's a possibility he could have did it. Now, what are those things that you bring up in your discernment? This is what you've been presented with that also. You were presented
like I just said, I just said it though, my son. I said that. Time out, Mike. You just did. Listen, I'm gonna show you what you just did. You just did exactly what I said people do. I just told you from my perspective how I hold Tory possibly accountable. When I say all of this over here, and then I say, but that doesn't mean Tory did. That doesn't mean Tory is telling the truth. Hold on, Mike. When I say that, that's my way of showing balance. But you just said, Shabazz, you didn't say X, Y, and Z. So what people are doing, I'm saying it, but I'm saying it in my way. But because I'm not saying it the way people want to hear it, they're saying that I didn't say it. And you just did it. I am saying it. I am showing that Tory could be lying. I say it verbatim. I say it verbatim. But because I'm not saying it the way people want me to say it.
If I don't know none of the information, right?
That's why I say it, my son.
But I want you to get this. Just get this. If I didn't know nothing that happened to Tory or Megan, I came to your page, right? And I want to get a sense of what's going on. I don't know. And the first thing I see is Tory ain't said nothing that he ain't got to. Right? Cool. That's the first thing you say. Okay, he ain't gotta say nothing, so he should just be quiet. Cool. Then the next thing you come is, I don't know, but I know about a gun. If you shot somebody, the police gonna lock you up. Shit don't sound right to me. Right? I don't know. I still don't know nothing. I didn't hear no parts of the story. I don't hear nothing. And then I go to your page, and then you're like, you know what? Charlamagne, you want somebody to give you the benefit of the doubt. When you said this, we believed you, but Tory said this, and you don't want to believe him. It's this and that. What I'm going to get from those posts alone, man, I'm going to get that you are giving Tory the benefit of the doubt, and you believe that this situation ain't back.
But my son, but you know what I'm okay with? My son, but you know what I'm okay with? I'm okay with people not having the sense of intellect and digesting information and assessment like I do. Because anybody that follows me... But that's not
really true, though, Baz.
Hold on.
Because
what I'm saying is this, Mike.
I digest information.
About me,
and I follow you every day. In this situation,
but listen to what I'm saying to you, bro.
That you was leaning towards Tory, and I can just say I have very excellent discernment.
And brother to brother, I feel like you feel that way because you strongly believe Megan, and I'm okay with that. There is nothing nobody can tell you about Tory. You said yourself. I saw it on your page. Somebody told you that you don't know what happened. And you said, until it's proven differently, you riding with Megan. And if you found yourself to be wrong, you'll apologize. So you've already, it's in your mind that
but
Tory
I'm telling
is
you,
lying.
I'm not a position, Baz. What I'm trying to say is,
you've
taking the opposite position.
But
your story is, listen, you know what people want to see this conversation between me and you, Baz? Let me tell you why. Because they believe that you've taken a counter position to mine.
Watch this though. And that's another reason why we're here. Your position and mine's conflict because your mind is already made up. Mine's isn't. That's the difference. My mind is not made up.
There's a bunch of people that's mind is not made up. They be like, I don't know what it is, and we don't have no more dialogue.
But listen, me and you can have dialogue. You and I can have dialogue. But my position is not like yours. You've been convinced. You don't care what nobody. There is nothing nobody can tell you right now. Megan is telling the truth. Tory is lying. And if you find out later that Tory is telling the truth, you'll apologize. So right there, your mind is made up. My mind is not made up. I haven't made up my mind that Tory Lanez is telling the truth. My mind is not made up that Tory is telling the truth. That's not my position. Hold on. Listen, my son, listen. I don't care about semantics. I don't care about assumptions. I'm saying this out of my mouth. My mind is not made up on this situation. I can't say that no more clearer. I don't care what people want to continue to say or continue to implement or add. I have not said Megan Thee Stallion is lying, and I have not said that Tory is telling the truth. My mind is not made up.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is...
I had dialogue. I have dialogue on the situation because this is what we do on our platforms.
Yes, sir.
This is what we do.
And
we can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree, bro. You know, and anybody that's on here that don't want to listen and they tired of us talking, there's a thing on here that got a little X on it, or to say, and you can get the fuck on. So if you're tired of listening, just go head on. But Mice, you and I, we understand the immense respect and brotherly love that we got between one another.
Yes,
we can agree to disagree on this one. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. But see, what the real issue is, we got a whole 750 people on here, and about 375 of them calling me a clown, calling me a bitch nigga, calling you a clown. Why? Because everybody has a different perspective. And the real problem, the real motherfucking problem is shit like that. We're divided over some shit that's not going to change either one of our lives. You and I can have a conversation about it as men. But the rest of the congregation, the majority, do not know how to chime in and give a perspective without calling you out your name, without calling me out of mine. Why do you got to be a clown? Why do I got to be a fuck nigga?
But Bass, the reality of the situation is that when we do this, we giving a master class at what it is to have an argument, and I mean not an argument, to have a disagreement, and then have a respectable debate about something, and nobody is a clown, and still respect each other.
But that's
what we do. We showing
my son.
They gotta learn. We teaching a class right. This is a master class.
And let me say this. I don't do nothing just to do it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. This dialogue needed to be had in front of the masses because this is what they need to see. They need to see this. You didn't curse at me. You didn't say, Shabazz, you full of shit. We didn't disrespect one another. No disrespect came from nowhere but the comments. I knew this would happen. That's why I'm not offended. I'm not offended at all. People need to see that two black men can have a disagreement on a topic and then tomorrow be brothers. See, everybody that's on here, Shabazz is a clown, Mice is a clown. Guess what? Most of them, if they saw you tomorrow, would speak to you. Ask for a picture. Shake your hand.
Exactly.
Tomorrow would see me. What's good, OG? You be talking that shit. So the dialogue needed to be held so they can see how this type of interaction is supposed to ensue. I'm not worried about anybody that's on here that can call you a disrespectful name or call me a disrespectful name because we have a difference of opinion. Those are the fucking clowns.
Exactly.
The niggas and the bitches. And I said niggas and bitches. Yeah, I said it. Because that's what y'all are. Because that's what you're acting like. Y'all the real clowns. So, Mice, I appreciated this.
I love you, bro. You know, I
look likewise, bro. Likewise. See, this is why people supposed to stay neutral, real neutrality, and don't pick sides. Because now you got motherfuckers going to bed mad at you, mad at me, and man, you're going to be talking on the phone tomorrow.
But that's part of life. That's what happens is there's so many different perspectives about life, Bass, and I realize my perspective, I'm strong in my conviction and my perspectives, and it's going to always show that. And there's going to be people that differ. And what happens is we were able to give our perspectives, and whether people agree with them or not, that don't got nothing to do with me. Like I tell niggas all the time, how